I'm Jeff Gould, America's storyteller. This is the perfect time of year to think of one word and 10 pictures. I think you'll like this story. So every year, around about October, November, I start thinking about what the word for the next year is going to be. You'll see a lot of movers and shakers do that, but it's more than just, about setting goals and achieving standards. It's about appreciating life. So for the year 2025, I want you to look at this picture. It's my picture of the year. It's me sitting on a porch with a plate and a fork. And the word of the year is savor. I'll circle back to that photo at the end because it is my picture of the year. I just want you to think about that word so you can understand how I selected these pictures. First, the way I did it, pretty simple. I just took the phone, and we're always taking pictures. Go back to January 1st and scroll through your photos. And when you find a photo that you like, send it to yourself. Your job is to get down to 10 or 11 photos that represent the year for you. Why do I do this? Well, I've done funerals for hundreds of families, and this is what normally happens. They put together a picture board. Well, now they look at the phone of their beloved and go, we don't have time to look at this. There's thousands in here. And so they don't. They just cast it aside. Your life in pictures will be tossed aside because it's too much information. When you do this, if you think about it, you are now having a miniature funeral for the last year that you lived. You are celebrating the life of that year through stories and image and pictures. It's really interesting. So let me just show you my year in pictures for the year 2025. Okay, so here's a little picture. I got 4 grandkids. No, I have 6 grandkids. I have 6 grandkids. And here's a picture of a couple of them. And they are like little puppies that squirm around. And here they are trapped between 2 pews on a Sunday morning, doing their very best to not make a mess out of the place. And I love this picture because of all the things I did training up my kids. Putting them in this space was the most important thing that I did for them, right? That foundation, that observation of seeing how people were raising their kids and how they could emulate them, that was a great picture. And to see that duplicated, well, that's why it made the list. So also on the list is something I do every morning. You'll see a picture of my coffee mug on top of a Bible. This is out by my deck in the backyard. I try most days to start with this little ritual of reading a piece of scripture, trying to encapsulate it into 10 words, and then thinking about my day ahead. And that system of spending time with God and using that strength into my day, very helpful. That's why it made the list. This person has made the list because she's in every part of every day. This is my lovely bride, Libby. She's a great cook, she's a great hostess, and she has a great sense of humor. So this bouquet of rhubarb, she's holding it like a champion bouquet, and of course she will turn that into delicious dessert. That made the list. Also, she added this to the list. She said, "What are you doing?" And this was in November. I bought us tickets to a show, which, what now? We're going to spend money to go to a show? Aren't we going to just stay home? Just not tonight. And so we went out on the town, and that was a nice celebration. When you have kids, you're a lot of time just busy doing their stuff. But when it's just you and they've grown and moved out of the house, you have a chance to sample and savor other aspects in your life. That's why that made the list. This made the list. It's an old picture of me in the garden with the girls. I took that to a photo place, and they, photoshopped it and added some imagery to it. But that's a real photo. It's me and the girls planting a garden. And the important thing to remember is we weren't raising vegetables. We were raising children. and weeding that garden and planting that garden and harvesting that garden. We didn't really grow much for vegetables, but we did a pretty good job with those kids. And the reason I put it in this year is that is the last year for the garden. Neighbors have moved in. It doesn't get quite the sun it used to. And we don't eat as many vegetables because there aren't as many of us. So it was time to say goodbye to that. And at the same time to savor that memory. So here's a picture of a local baseball team called the Canaries. They're a fun team to go to and watch in the summer. I happened to go see them on July 4th, and it was a spectacular night because, as you can see in the background, it was starting to storm, and I happened to watch a baseball game played during a lightning storm on the 4th of July when they also were firing off fireworks. Now, not at the stadium, because they said they didn't want to hurt any of the players, but all around town, you could see throughout Sioux Falls them shooting off fireworks. It was absolutely a memorable night I won't forget. Speaking of the Canaries, one of the things I'll say is that there's two kinds of parents, the one that raises children till they're adults, and then you become the parent of an adult child, and that's a different thing altogether. And when one of your adult children invites you out for an evening, well, you will just cherish that memory. Now, all four of my daughters do this, but this is the one that's captured in my family, so I use it as a representative. This is Meredith taking me out to a Canaries game. Also, my four daughters have applied skills that I taught them when they were younger. Then it's fun to see them apply. And here is another one of Meredith. She's doing some shop work in her house. She's doing some remodeling things. And it's fun to see the things that I taught being applied. I will probably not see this picture ever again. It's a picture of a guy who was in a season of my life who is a real peach of a guy. His name is Al Schaffelman. He is the guy who advertised on Facebook his barn, meaning that I could have the barn if I took it all apart, and he helped me do that. I have pictures of him using his machinery to do that. It's kind of remarkable. But this is the only one that shows him as a man, as a photo, and that's the one I cherish. It's a good picture, and it made the list. My wife has a great sense of humor, as I said, and here she is. She was in one of my onstage performances as an intern named Patty, and she put together those cat's eye glasses. So that both reminds me of the onstage shows that we did and our relationship. And one more thing, because I don't see this guy very often. I happened to run into him when we were down in Florida. It's Scooby-Doo. And I haven't seen Scooby since I was a little kid. So I saw him. I said, "Hey, Scoob, do you want to take a picture?" And he said, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, whoa." And so we did take that picture. And can you see why all of these pictures go back and live under this main picture of the plate on the porch? Yeah, I made that porch. I got the lumber, I planned it, I built it, I put it on that house. Every time I sit on that porch, I savor the labor and the memory. I look at the day. In all seasons of the year, I will sit on that porch. In storms, in winter, in spring, in summer, and fall, I will sit on that porch many times, just looking at the day ahead. Maybe that's where I will do some of my devotions. I savor the day. That plate, well, we got those plates when we were kids. Our parents got them. They weren't wedding china, but they were the china that got used. That's a Currier and Ives set. And we still eat off that every day. So it's like I am sharing a meal with my parents as well. And I am savoring. And so that's what I did in 2025. What word would you like to apply to the year ahead? It's really remarkable how effective it is to anchor your year on one word. The word I will use for next year is assert. Assert. We'll talk more about that. But can you see how the words don't even have to be related or even in the same quadrant? It will come to you As you write your story, where do you want your story to go? And that word will be an anchoring point to that. If you'd like more stories like this, you can find them at ilikethatstory.com. That's ilikethatstory.com. There's a lot of people who share, trivial stuff. That's not the purpose of these stories. A final word on the new year. When we start a new year, we start. And oftentimes we wait until the new year to start. I think that's a bad idea. I think you should try to start on a Monday, start at the first of the month, start at 8 o'clock in the morning. There's a million different ways to start, but the new year really symbolizes that start. It's your story. You get to write this chapter any way you want. It is my truest desire that you write an excellent chapter in 2026. May God bless you and inspire you and lead you into a wonderful chapter in 2026. I'm Jeff Gould, and I like that story.